Hello there, it's Hillary of Creative Faith, and today I'm sharing with you a brand new free printable I made for you. It is this first page that has these squares with John 16:33 in them, and then this flower page is from my Saved by Grace collection, available in my Etsy shop. The free printable you can get on my website or on my Facebook group, and I will link both of those down below, as well as the Saved by Grace collection. And this free printable just came from a heavy heart this past week. I had planned on sharing a different video here on my YouTube channel this weekend, but I don't know, it just didn't feel quite right. And I've just been processing and praying and feeling sad and about just what's happening in our world. And so I created this printable. I really love John 16:33. And this is Jesus' kind of final remarks to his disciples before his death on the cross. And I think that's really important to remember the context of the verse, right? So John 16:33, Jesus is saying to his disciples, "I have told you this so that you may have peace in me. Here on earth you will have many trials and sorrows, but take heart because I have overcome the world." And that verse just fills me with so many things. First off, it's like, oh my goodness, we will have trials, we will have tribulations, we will have trouble and hard times. And I think that's so evident in our world today, on a global scale, but also just, people have their own struggles in their own lives. And that's really, really challenging. But I just love Jesus's promise of peace in the midst of that. So anyways, I've just been thinking a lot about this verse. I created this little image here that you see on the screen with the verse, and I shared it on my Instagram for Creative Faith, and I thought I want to turn this into a printable and put it in my journaling Bible. So I am using an Interleaved Bible, which means that it has a whole blank page next to it, which you guys see here. And I started off the process for this page by writing out a prayer. I really love the room in the Interleaved Bible. It's also sometimes a little bit intimidating, and so but today it was perfect because I just had so much that I wanted to just lay at the feet of the Lord. And I used pencil because I wanted to paint over it, and I was worried if I used pen that it might smear a bit, so I used pencil. And really the prayer part isn't necessarily like, I didn't write it for you to read. I wrote it just to lift to the Lord. And so I'm taking acrylic paint. I have kind of a light brown and kind of a off-white. And I am using water to dilute them down because I don't want the prayer to, I don't necessarily want people to read the prayer, but I do want it to shine through a little bit. And my husband said it looked like an old piece of paper, was kind of his thought on how it turned out. And so I'm just totally covering up the whole prayer. And this is a great kind of strategy if you want to write a prayer or write something private to the Lord, but you want to do it in a journaling Bible and share either online or, someday when we are past and dead, hopefully someone will have these Bibles that we are creating and journaling in, and it will be kind of a legacy. But maybe you don't necessarily want people to read everything you wrote. So this is kind of a cool idea where you can write it down, but then cover it with paint or paper, things like that to, not everything needs to be shared with everyone, just between you and the Lord. So I finished covering that left page there, and now I am on the right side, and I am doing the whole border in that same kind of 2 different color scheme. And you can also see on the right side there, I use the pencil to highlight, to circle the key Bible verse. So then after I have all the paint down, I am off camera. I did the majority of the drying, because you guys don't need to see all that, but I dried it, and now I had thought about laying down the flowers on both sides, but then it looked kind of funny on the right because of the border, so I ended up just doing it on the left side. And again, this flower border is from my Saved by Grace collection, and it is technically like a Lent collection that I made, but you can totally use it any time of year. It is a Grace scripture reading plan, and I drew these really beautiful florals. I love how this collection turned out. So there's a main kit, and then there's also 3x3 verse cards, and I'll have both of those linked down below, as well as a YouTube video that shows more if you want to learn more about that. But I just really love the beauty of this collection, and it makes me happy in the midst of this challenging time in our world, and there's just a lot going on in my own life too. So anyways, just putting pretty flowers down always makes me happy. So I decided to just put the flower border down on the left side, and instead of the right as well. And I had planned on using the big card, the big square, but it was just a little too big for me. I wanted more of the prayer to shine through, so I did the smaller one, and I really love how that turned out. Well, it's funny because I was doing this page, and at the end I just was like, I don't really love how it turned out. And then I was showing my husband, and we were talking about it, and I thought, the point of this is not to create a perfect page. The point of this is to spend time with the Lord and to pray and reflect and pray for peace, and pray for just, I love the last part of John 16:33 Jesus says, I have overcome the world. And what a reminder right now that even when things seem dark and scary and evil, that Jesus has overcome it all. Today we were driving home from church, and a really awesome song came on the radio called You Keep Hope Alive, and I wanted to just read a few of the lyrics to you. It starts off, days may be darkest, but your light is greater. You light our way, God, you light our way. When evil is rising, you are rising higher, with power to save, with power to save. And I was just thinking a lot about that song as I was doing this page, and I just have been listening to it kind of on repeat, and being reminded that like the chorus of the song says, you keep hope alive. And I think that's so important for us to remember that Jesus is our hope, and he is in control even when things seem crazy. And when things seem dark, it's a chance for his light to shine. And so I just pray that would really encourage you today, no matter what you're going through, that you could remember that. So here you see some of the elements from the Saved by Grace collection, and I used one of the pattern papers to punch a tab for the top of the page, and then I also cut out one of the flowers, and I wanted to add it just to the little baby margin on the side over there to the right. And I had just printed the pattern paper on regular white paper, and so I am using my tape runner to adhere it to some brown craft paper. I thought that would look nice. from the back, so I didn't end up doing a double-sided tab, but the craft paper will be shown and seen from the back side. And I thought the gray just really matched well with kind of the somberness of this page. And so I'm just adding that to the top, and you can see I like adding tabs to the tops of my pages. I just think it looks really pretty. And then I'm using my tape, my glue pen to adhere the flower down, because with the little baby stem it's hard to use the tape runner on it. And I had in a different page taped the flower down to make it look like it was kind of like a flower I collected that I taped down, but I didn't really like it, so you see I pulled it up. But anyways, I just pray this encouraged you. Be sure to check out the free printable. I would love to see what you do with it and how you use it. Definitely check out the Saved by Grace collection if you like the pretty florals. And never forget that God has overcome the world. Have peace in Him.